What's going on YouTube? JT is born here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Green Arrow issue number 18. This is the start of a new era, an all-in era for Green Arrow. And you know what? It's just Green Arrow. There's no Green Arrow fam, there's no Black Canary, there's no Red Arrow, there's no Arsenal, there's no Red Canary, there's no Arrowette, there's no John Diggle. It is just Oliver Queen off on his own, ready to kind of do some stuff, like going back to basics, grounded, gritty stuff. And you know what? I'm pretty okay with that because even though I enjoyed some aspects of the most recent like stuff in Green Arrow under Williamson, I think it was probably his weakest book he was working on. I do want to see just Oliver Queen just kind of do some grounded stuff for a little while. No crazy time travel, like multiverse jumping, going to space, and all that other crazy stuff or absolute power stuff. Just Oliver Queen doing his thing, solving cases, being, well, Oliver Queen at parties, and just doing some simple standard Green Arrow stuff without being bogged down by the couple hundred other Arrow family members that are in there. Just for a little bit, you know, I'd like to see other ones kind of given their time to shine and mixed into this thing. But I want to see Oliver Queen just kind of off doing some stuff on his own for a little bit while he just kind of recuperates before bringing the family back in and doing stuff and some interesting stories that way. So again, this is a pretty straightforward thing. You can pretty much just jump on this book right now because it is all in. So you don't have to have read anything Williamson had done because this doesn't have any references really to what Williamson and that had done or absolute power per se. Maybe there's one, but I probably would have missed it. But yeah, so this one is written by Chris Condon, art by Montos. Is that just their name, Montos? But yeah, so it opens up. There's some kid. He finds what looks like an oil drum stuff right there in the ground, and then he kind of goes inside. We come to find out that somebody was murdered, and you know, Oliver's off doing his stuff right there. The artwork is pretty decent. I'm not familiar with Montos. Is that their last name, first name? Is that just a nickname? Yeah, a lot of these artists just kind of have like one like kind of like pen name. I've noticed there's one called Danny, which I've talked about beforehand, and Montos, and I'm like, I guess some people are just too good for last names or first names. I don't exactly know, but anyway, so Oliver's like, I'm off at my place. Nothing, you know, it's like a real bachelor pad. Nothing too elaborate, anything like that. He sees like news of a murder on TV, and he kind of flashback to moments when he goes to investigate of him spending time with, you know, some people he calls out for their stuff, and it's like, oh, you know, you're rich, you're, you know, poisoning people, you're rich, you know, stuff like that. He just deals with the senator and that too. Then, of course, while this is going on, a cop kind of breaks in, or doesn't actually break in. Oliver's the one who's breaking into a crime scene, and she kind of like confronts him. And like I said, that's just kind of where the issue ends, on a little bit of a mysterious cliffhanger. Like, okay, we're going to get the story in motion. And that's basically all that. What I do like is the fact that it is really just Oliver Queen on his own, ready to kind of solve the case. You have this other lady cop who is involved as well. It's just, like I said, it's just Oliver. It's simple, kind of easy to follow for the most part. Nothing like, wow, this is like one of the best issues, or this is a fantastic start of like something absolutely incredible. Like, there's no like major hook for it. Like, it's not something like, it's just a pretty standard issue, I'd say. But the fact that after a while, it's just kind of like Oliver getting ready to kind of do his things, and you know, that's the good aspect of it, I suppose. And like I said, it's the start of this. You got to kind of give it a couple issues to kind of really let it start to sink in, I'm sure, before the story starts to unfold and we get all the crazy reveals and all that other stuff mixed in with it. So, because again, it's a new creative team. Usually you got to give like a couple issues. Like, this is clearly like a setup issue, and to kind of like set the stage for, okay, here's Oliver. He's on his own again. And now we have this other lady cop in here. Will we bring in other members of the Arrow fam? Not exactly sure. Is this like going to be like this amazing story? I don't exactly know, but you know, it was a pretty decent first start of this arc. Nothing mind-blowing or anything like that. Just kind of I suppose like reestablishing like the status quo, I guess, or not necessarily that, or just Oliver just kind of like ready to kind of do a case on his own without anyone else's involvement. Just doing this thing. Like I said, it feels like a little bit more like classic Green Arrow, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, if you're kind of missing that aspect, I don't think this issue is going to blow anybody away or anything like that. Again, it's the first with a new creative team. You got to give it a couple issues to really kind of see, unless it is downright absolutely awful, which I don't think this thing was. It's not an issue I'm probably going to remember all that much. Like, even after kind of just reading it, like, you know, it's pretty standard fare or anything like that. But again, I want to kind of give it like an issue or two to really see which direction the story goes, and even like the cliffhanger, like it just like that was the end. I kind of felt a little bit whelmed, to be honest. But again, it's nothing too bad or nothing too amazing like that. But I am glad to see Ollie just kind of doing stuff on his own. That's kind of where I'm most looking forward to it, and him solving cases and all that, and battling, evil like billionaire tycoons of like oil and stuff. Like, it feels very Captain Planet-y, or something like that. You know what I mean? You've seen those types of villains that they, Green Arrow would go up against, and him in his social settings and just kind of calling people out on the spot for a lot of their shenanigans and just being Oliver Queen. So that's the good aspect to it. But anyways, what did you think of this issue? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you kind of wish there was other Arrow family members here, or are you just kind of glad to see Oliver Queen just sort of do stuff on his own? Give us an arc or two of him just kind of doing this stuff and then bring in everyone else. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd be curious to know what everyone thinks. But anyways, that's all I have to say about this particular issue. Yeah, that's really it. Push comments down below. If you like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all your fun stuff. I still got like several more DC books I got to try and cover. I don't know why DC, like all the books I cover, it's like, oh, let's drop 6 of them today. 6? Are you kidding me? Like, why can't this just be spaced out more during the month? Because there's times where I'll have like 1 book a week, and then there'll be another week where it's like, oh, we're going to drop all of these at once. I'm like, all of them at once? Are you crazy? That's just kind of how it is sometimes, but hey, it's not too bad, all things considered. So, all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.